Eureka.
We make plays every day, yeah. We make plays every
Making
day.
plays. Ain't that right, Jamaicans?
Plays every day, yeah. We make plays every day, yeah.
Damn, Jamaicans is
Plays
laughing.
every day. We make plays every day. We make plays every day,
Yeah. Welcome to the Real Fantasy Playmakers. It's week 3. I'm Bogart Scott-Free with my esteemed colleague, the Guru. What's happening, Goo?
Madness.
Okay.
Man, just back from my sabbatical. You know what I'm saying? Trying to just recover.
He
Las
came back
Vegas
from-
with my ass a little bit, but we're gonna see. I missed everything. I blacked out like I was at a Raider game. You know what I mean? So,
oh, yeah, that's right. You was
yeah,
out there in Sin City with them Jamaicans.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
let's just get this out the way. Follow us at the GMM Network. You know what I'm saying? On Instagram, we talking rankings. We talking mainly running backs and receivers. We'll throw a little bit of tight end and quarterback streaming talk. But we're gonna go through these running backs and receivers. What you want to hit them off first with, Goo?
Oh man.
What say you?
Is Ezekiel Elliott gonna play after halftime? Is that game going? Is that game?
So you want to start with the running backs?
Halftime or what? Because he's your number one guy. He's everyone's number one guy.
Okay,
But,
so
who's gonna ball this week? Who's gonna ball, bro? I need help.
okay, well, hold on one second.
I'm still hungover, bro. I don't know where I'm at.
I'm gonna
I don't
put
know
a
what's going on.
well. I sent you my rankings. Are we gonna? Do you
Yes,
want
sir.
to? So what do you want? Do you want to compare to expert consensus, or you just want to just nitpick my rankings? Because I'm down with whatever.
Let me nitpick because I do have it up here. I got the expert.
Yeah, I want you to nitpick them though. I'm more so that fuck these
Let me
experts.
just
You
get
know what I'm saying?
nitpicky right now. Figure out why you. Okay. Your top 4 is pretty consensus. Zeke, Dalvin, Saquon,
Yep,
McCaffrey.
Zeke,
Let me
Dalvin,
look
Saquon,
for
yep.
this discrepancy. Let me look for this discrepancy.
By the way, we're going through my running back rankings.
No, everything's pretty solid, man. He's pretty on point today. You know, Marlon Mack, you like him a little more. Le'Veon Bell, you're a little higher on. Let me see down here.
PPR.
Damian Williams,
It's
bro.
PPR.
Damian Williams, you got 19.
I got him because
What happened? That was
he's
your
hurt
boy,
right now.
Doc Queen.
I got him as playing, but also as nursing something. So the touches could be limited, but I think it will be limited to the passing game, and that'll be enough for him to get into that RB2 territory.
Okay, I see some. You got the ECR, Chris Carson at 10. You put him down at 16. You obviously got scared off by that Rashad Penny touchdown.
No, it wasn't that. I just think that it's gonna be like, hey, how about this one? Mike Davis was there last season, real quick, right? They split it between all 3 of them, but Mike Davis had the bigger share. Now there's no Mike Davis, so it was like Carson essentially soaking all that up week 1 and 2 until the fumbles started coming. Then they started putting Penny in the game. They playing the Saints this week. I think it's gonna be enough work for the both of them. I still believe in. Because the Saints are still a good run D. That's why I have it 16. And I think the passing game work might go a little bit more to Penny and even McKissick, if that, right? But here's what I'm saying though: is I didn't even rank Penny. Penny's outside my top 35. But it's only mainly because I really think they'll be controlling this game and be a lot more Chris Carson. But it'll be a lot of carries, no passes. I think this game will be in control of them the whole way. That's what.
Okay.
And there's so many guys
Fair enough.
there's so many guys I like above him as far as matchup and piling up reception. So I have Carson down there that low.
Okay, well, speaking of matchups, are there any studs whose matchup you don't like a guy you're sitting who could be like an RB1 name, but you're worried about his matchup. Maybe you don't sit him, but you're worried. Like, who's that guy?
Fournette.
Fournette.
Yep, Fournette. Like an RB1 in general or RB1 this week. Like where
Could
I
be
have him
anybody in
ranked.
the top 10. Anybody. RB1 this week.
I would say
anybody,
I could even
whatever.
say Saquon Barkley. I mean, Saquon Barkley is way better than Christian McCaffrey, but this is the Todd Bowles defense that always limits the run, even ever since they were back with the Jets before, when he was back with the Cardinals for years. They're always good at stopping the run. So, they might be there to limit Saquon Barkley to a degree. So I could worry a little bit, especially because you guarantee to see 8 man in the box on Barkley.
Right.
Barkley.
Tampa's D has been pretty solid so far. If Cam doesn't play, man, I'm worried about Christian McCaffrey. All you gotta do is shut that guy down and make the backup, beat you. So
it's not clear.
The game plan will be purely focused on him.
Mm-hmm.
Could be tough for him if Cam is out. Let me see what else we got here. Alvin Kamara, you said on your last show, which I did check out, that you're not too worried about him.
I'm not too
worried about him, kind of, because you can't be better without Drew Brees, and Kamara's going to get a lot more focus. The passing game is going to be as efficient and fluid.
Well, okay, but this is before the news of Taysom Hill being like, and them running like a dual QB thing, right? So just to touch on this real quick, but when it was just Teddy Bear, Bridgewater, it was going to be a lot of, he doesn't stretch the field, so it would have been a lot of short intermediate passes, lower A dots. And Thomas already lived there in that area with Breeze and Kamara as well. So it would just, to me, with Teddy Bear, Bridgewater, it would have been safe to say, all the targets to a receiver would be to Thomas, and then anything out the backfield would definitely be Kamara. And so, you know what I mean? Like, I could see them easily getting, anywhere. Like, Michael Thomas is going to see a floor of 10 targets a game. I'm just saying that because they can't really stretch the field. You know what I mean? With Bridgewater.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Like,
but still,
I
though,
can see now Taysom Hill getting more carries now, having to be in the game more.
Yeah,
that kind of just he's going to take away a good 5 to 10 touches from possibly Kamara.
Yeah, and see, and then as I like to call Alvin Kamara, I call him Alvin and the Chipmunks because he's not a one-man show. He's always going to have one of the Chipmunks. It's going, whether it was Mark Ingram before, now in this case he got Murray. You know what I'm saying? And then Taysom Hill, he's lightweight. He's like an honorary member of the Chipmunks. You know what I mean? So they all kind of eat into into Kamara. So it's like until what I'm saying, like that's my logic behind that. Anybody else? So that's
So I'd be worried about those 3 guys. McCaffrey, I think Barkley's a little safer than. Just because that guy's in like.
But you see why I have some of those.
It still can be a little quiet for him compared to. You see. I mean, what other matchup in like your 10 to 20 range? Like, you think a guy that can really pop off? Maybe no one's really looking at.
Okay, well, once we get into the 20s, you know what I'm saying. You got your Montgomery, you got your who else do I got in that area? Are you looking at it right now? Oh, let me pull that up too.
From 10 to 20, you have Derrick Henry, Mack, Aaron Jones, Connor, Gurley, Michelle, Carson, Ingram, Jacob.
See, you know what's crazy is about half those guys normally, on paper you would have them as a top 5 or in the top 10. I mean, like your CMCs, your Gurleys. There's so much things going on, and we're as we're gathering data, this is how I'm determining certain things. For what I mean, like for example, like CMC with the Cam injury, and like them, they are playing Arizona, and Arizona, they've been steady. They're letting their corners play man, and they're letting them get raped, right? While they keep 8 men in the box. Like they did this to Kerryon Johnson, they did this to Mark Ingram and company, and then they're gonna do this again to CMC. So that's why I have him there. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, once I get into the 20s, that's where it gets fun. Because I like that fuck shit. You know what I mean? I like when motherfuckers like don't want to listen to me, and I'm telling them, bro, you better start David Montgomery this week. And that was against the Broncos. I was like, he's good for like 10. He might even get falling in the end zone. And bro, it happened, right, Jamaicans? You know what I'm saying? They fucking David Montgomery. At least seeing him get the 18 touches, that's what we wanted. I'm safe to roll him. I feel safe to roll him out. And I sounded like Fog Leghorn. I said safe. I mean, I said, boy, I tell you, I said it's a safe stop.
Okay. Hey, the ECR has James Conner ranked at 18. You got him up at 13, so you feel pretty confident.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident because if he's good to go, here's my thing.
The word is he said 15 hours ago, confident he will play.
Yeah, and you know what? That might have bumped him up 5 spots.
Into the top 10.
Oh yeah. Also for
you're
everybody.
You're bigger on him than the ECR is. I'll give you credit there.
Well, check this out. For everybody, These rankings are gonna be on the Instagram. So like I said, follow us at the GMM Network on Instagram. These rankings will be up along with this new brand spanking new podcast. Lost my train of thought. Where we at? Good. We in the 20s. Montgomery, right? Fucking with Montgomery.
You lost your train of thought last week. You needed to hit the weed.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Came right back.
Let me hit the weed. Jamaicans, pass the weed. You know what I'm saying?
Sony Michel, man, kind of showed up. I was a little worried about him. We didn't really talk about him much last week. It's an easy matchup, obviously.
Yeah, but you know what? We're gonna Jamaican horns for Sony Michel anyway. You know what I'm saying? We Jamaican horns for him anyway. Bro, he came through for us.
Double up again on the Jets this week, right?
Yeah, but see, this is why I have him ranked there is because it's gonna be a boat race, like a steamboat race, even. You know what I mean?
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel that like there's no way around. You know what I mean? Them not smacking. I mean, maybe at most Adam Gaze and them have these long, lengthy drives that lead to field goals. You know what I mean? Like these long, lengthy drives on the back of Le'Veon Bell out the Wildcat like every 3-4 snaps and shit. You know what I mean? Like like what Sony Michel
15 to 20 carries.
Okay. And you know what? I like that. I like that floor. He did get 20 carries last week, and he got the meaningful carries, when they were down there. And but last week was just, remember we said it can go two ways. It could either be they have Brown there, and they're letting him just run limited snaps, or when he's out there they're gonna they're gonna acclimate him like it's better than the preseason game. Remember we were saying that, me and you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because we were talking
Could
about
be another acclimation game for AD.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And they're all giving up over there. You know what I mean? Like I'm like almost want to start Josh Gordon just because I'm like, yo, maybe they'll double Brown, but it's like, man, maybe they don't even care. Like everyone wants to be traded there. Like I'm about to try out for the Jets. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like everyone's leaving. Everyone's leaving there. And everyone's leaving Miami. Isn't that funny? What a coincidence, because that's the same division as New England, right? Hey, real quick, Goo. Look, keep a time marker from here on out. You know what I'm saying? Because I forgot.
Yes,
we did forget to do that. So, maybe we'll go for like a solid 30 from now, because I know we went about 10. So
yeah.
Okay. Yes,
for sure.
Yeah, go ahead and duly note that. All right. I am worried about James White. You know what I mean? Because who was in that, and we'll get to Julian Edelman later too, but and a little bit about Julian Edelman too. Just everyone in that slot in general, because when Antonio Brown's there, it's like he's going in the slot a lot. And if we're gonna base on the little sample size that we saw,
I agree with that big time. For sure. I mean, I'm an Edelman owner. I'm not feeling too great about it. I'm a James White owner. You know that. And I really don't feel great about it. AB is really complicating it.
You know what? I just realized, like in reality football, like New England just fucking. I'm almost getting tired of it.
It's not fair.
All right, let's get. I got it back together. Hit the
They are the definition of excellence, unfortunately.
I know, right?
Now I would really consider the Patriots. They really have a commitment to excellence.
I like that.
That was a shot.
I like that. Because you know what?
But anyhow.
Yeah, okay, so James, because I have all them in this range. Your James Whites, your Chris Thompsons, and then outside of there, I'm not really fucking with Miles Sanders this week. I love the matchup last week. But then I also do think like there's gonna be a lot more work in the short passing game with the low attendance on the starters over there. You know what I mean? Like they're all banged up. You know what I'm saying? And then
they definitely are.
Yeah,
what did Miles Sanders do last week? You remember?
He put up like 20. He put like 20 or 32 on the ground and 20 something through or 19 through the air and 2 receptions. It was bad. It was like.
So he didn't do that. He's kind of flopped. Because I remember I was off him last week. We haven't reviewed that yet. But
and then ironically, I think the argument was him and Malcolm Brown, and I think Malcolm Brown put up like 8 points.
Oh, they both flopped. I shouldn't have even brought it up.
He put up like 8 points. But still, though, a dub's a dub. So you got me on that one. You know what I mean? Good thing you didn't
I don't know
want
if
to.
I
Good thing
did.
you didn't
I'll
want to bet me
preview
that
it
10
before we
bands I was
finish.
telling you to bet me. You know what I mean? Anyways,
I like that. Let's see. All right, so let's go. I'm looking at the rest of these rankings here. From the bottom, from like 20 on. You're a little down on your boy David Montgomery this week.
yeah, but I still have him in the top 24.
He's number 24 for you. You got you like Matt Breida at this week?
Yeah.
Versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh kind of shut down.
Yeah. See, here's the
really
thing,
good
though.
run offenses.
While the game is close, right? And I think this game could be pretty close because what do we really know? What kind of film do we have on Rudolph, right? So maybe it's close the first half. This is how my game script looks. And then, you know what I'm saying, Breida's going to get a lot of work. And he'll never come off the field. If you look at Raheem, DJ Mustard, all them, first of all, I'd still flex him this week under these same pretenses. But they got all the work when they were boat racing. You know what I mean? Like Raheem Mostert kind of started the boat race. Because remember, he had that long one. Remember? He had that long reception.
Yeah,
and it was like,
Mostert, his role is solid. It's Breida and Mostert. Jeff Wilson's get in there and kind of just garbage time filling.
Yeah, because
but I don't know, man. Pittsburgh shut down Sony Michel first week. He got like 18 yards, and then Chris Carson didn't really have a good game. And Rashad Penny, he popped the long one, but
Rex
Burkhead
had a game through the air, right? Who else had a game the next week? Who played the Steelers? Penny did his thing, right? So Raheem Mostert
he was one play. Penny was one play to me.
Yeah, but still was the play. You know what's funny? I stopped doing that this year. I stopped doing the whole, if you remove the fucking 60-yard, you know what I mean? Because
subtracting a play.
Only Derrick Henry is that worth mentioning that. You know what I mean? Where he has the one big ones where it's like, take out the one big one, and you know what I mean? Other than that, anyone else, you're just like, okay, cool. At least this defense, you can find a seam, or you could find, you could find a missed assignment. You know what I mean? Like maybe they have dumbass, just little things like that. I'm always remembering all that, especially after the first 2 weeks, because then it's like they start to become telltale signs of what we could bully and not. So in this case, can't bully them up the gut, but then we do run zone, so we might eat them up in the short pass game with the running backs, and that's going to be where Breida lives. I got him as a RB2.
I like it. Joe Mixon, man. Everybody loves Joe Mixon so much. I'm just not a Joe Mixon guy ever. He's ranked 23rd. You got him 21. I mean, what's up with Joe Mixon, bro?
I have him up there too, just because of the amount of the workload that you assume he gets. But I also have him there because he's hurt, so he might get the same workload or close to it and do nothing much with it. Just like how it was for him last week. They were just like, okay, you know what, get out. They're like, you're Joe Mixon today. You're not Sir Joe Mix-a-Lot, the Mix Master. You know what I'm saying? Sir Joe Mix-a-Lot.
Nickname for this week?
He's just regular Joe. He's regular Joe Mixon.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Shady or Damian Williams. They're both.
But also more importantly, it's against Buffalo. My bad. Also more importantly, it's against Buffalo. Maybe he gets some kind of home. Is this Buffalo's first home game too? Oh yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. Because okay, we're going. Go on.
I'm kind of scared of Buffalo. They're kind of weird. I'm like oddly like they kind of might be a good defense and they're pesky. They don't really give up like.
They are
crazy.
They were number 1 or 2 in fantasy last season. So that just meant they accumulate everything. You know what I mean? Like, and that includes takeaways.
Yeah, a couple more running backs I want to get to before we go to receivers. Damian Williams and McCoy. The as for ranking has them pretty low, 26 to 28. You got Damian Williams 19. I don't even
Shady doesn't even exist to me.
He doesn't.
Who?
You're still mad at him for the holding penalty.
Oh, you mean RB2? Oh, I mean you mean RB3 or flex at best? Yes.
That play cost me a win too.
Fuck that guy.
It was just a shady
I'm still
play.
sad. Oh man, dude.
He couldn't crack your top 30 because of that holding ball. I like that.
Yeah,
I feel like
fuck
we
that. Fuck
everybody's
Shady.
tripping a little bit having them that low outside of the top 25. I don't know. I feel like one of those guys is going to show up versus Baltimore. I don't know if David.
Okay. I want to bring up.
That offense is just too good, bro.
I want to bring up I want to bring up Justice Hill again. I brought him up. I know other analysts are probably talking about him this week. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? He's
There's a few
interesting.
guys that I think you have a running streak on this show. I need to go back and check the tape. Justice Hill might be one of them.
And see, you're not gonna hear about the green bean. We just right there.
You just did.
Yeah, but then still though, you're not really gonna hear about him. I'm actually have moved on from the green bean. I love him to death still.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
He still got a mention in the show, so the streak is alive.
Yeah, right. But you know what I'm saying? You know, that's another story. Who were you asking
So you
about?
think that matchup is bad for the KC running back? Like why is everyone not tripping on him?
Okay, but still though, you know what? In the passing game, they could be had. You know, DJ. Yeah, look at DJ. DJ dink and dunked him, and he gashed him for like 3 and 4 yard little gains to get up to like 80 yards. You know what I mean? They just like.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing: they're gonna.
I mean, but they have Patrick Mahomes. Like you can't.
Yeah.
Focus on the running back.
Here's the thing. Okay.
Far, very, very far and very, very accurate.
You're not going to be able to stuff any kind of box.
You have to play back off Mahomes. Those guys might have a lot of
you're going to have Kelsey
over the top is solid.
Bro, it's whoever's running for the Chiefs. He's going to have mad lanes. How about this? This is not this is not biased because I have Damian Williams, DW, the Darkwing Duck everywhere. This is not why I'm going to say this, but. When you said who's one of those guys in this top 24 that can creep up, I think it'll be one of them Chief backs, and in this case, Damian Williams. Hopefully, if this knee contusion, which is just a fancy way of saying bruise, he has a knee contusion, so it's like he should be good. Even if he's getting limited touches, I'll take those limited touches. You know what I mean? Like he's been steady seeing about 12 touches to 15 touches. They're all meaningful. You know what I mean? Not like no regular shit like when they're putting in Shady on fucking third. The only reason Damian Williams wasn't out there on that play too is because he had that little bone contusion. So they were like, all right, this game's out of hand anyway. Just chill. You know what I mean? And then Shady, I'm bringing it up. Okay, but yeah, I think that's it. And then Royce Freeman, he's interesting. You know what I mean? I think he has high RB2 potential just because he's just showing way more than Lindsey, and I think like when the hype dies down on you, you're as a player you're supposed to like re-spark that shit somehow, and I feel like he's just watching Royce Freeman become the guy they drafted him to be, and Lindsey last year was kind of the weasel that picked up. He was the hometown hero, picked up the playbook. He's a smaller guy. He picks up the playbook faster. He's an arrogant son of a bitch. So he asked Terrell Davis to use his number. Fuck this guy. And Royce Freeman, he couldn't pass protect, and it was a wrap for him. You know what I mean?
I like that call. I'm not a Freeman guy. I mean, I'm not a Lindsey guy. Freeman can.
But you get what I'm saying? Like I can just see them phasing Lindsey out slowly, and then he's gonna. It is like a Shanahan-esque system because it's one of those guys that came from his family tree. So it's like he might be the breeder in it, Freeman. You know what I mean? Or the Devontae Freeman in it, like circa Atlanta days.
We're gonna move on to receivers in just a minute. I think just a couple of like running backs I see outside the top 30 you might be able to get away with. Carlos Hyde at Chargers, like that matchup. You said your boy Frank Gore.
What did I have? I had Carlos Hyde at 31.
You had Carlos Hyde. You had him at 23. You're very.
Yeah, that's right. Because of the matchup. It's because who they're playing. They're playing the Chargers. San Diego, LA.
Peyton Barber's ranked like 37th this week.
But here's the thing. You know why? You know why? Because it's such a great matchup, and even this time, not this time last year, but like in like November.
That matchup is good. That's why I don't get why.
Remember last year? Barber tore them up last year too. Right? They tore them up. No, I'm saying right as in because I'm remembering like you know what I mean. Like he tore them up. Like it's reminiscent where it's like this could be he could have a game again, but I also could see them. I have them so low because I could also see them mucking it up with like, hey, let's put Ronald Jones in this time, and then he looks fantastic because of the matchup. You know what I mean? And then it's like, hey, this is the confidence booster we needed, and for our young back, and I can hear Bruce Arians already.
Yeah, Ronald Jones isn't ready right now.
Fuck those guys.
That the team's just trying to gather wins, obviously.
Hold on.
They're gonna roll out
Hey,
Barber more than Ronald Jones.
How many?
That's my
How many Payne Barber rosters do you have? How many rosters do you have with Payne Barber on it?
I don't own Payne Barber on one league.
Really?
But I liked what I saw from him.
I have him in two. I picked him up over the weekend after I seen him do that to Carolina on a short.
Yeah,
week.
he had a great week. They won the game with him being effective. So why would you go away from that? And especially you playing the Giants, you should be able to control that. And even I'm hoping you're a Jameis guy. He can have a really big game here. So it's
Frank
a good
Gore.
matchup period. So
Frank Gore, Payne Barber. If you need someone to plug in, they're probably available because they're like gross, but they got these incredible matchups. There's no one really taking Devin
even your boy
Singletary.
Justin Jackson might flash this week. He might be good for one.
Double
we'll call
J.
him back.
Justin Jackson,
All right, wide receivers. Wide receivers where the big money's made. PPR. Julio Jones back at number 1 again on the ECR. You like DeAndre Hopkins. You got Julio 3. Why? What's up?
Because Indy, this oddly enough, when I looked at it, and this is something I had to look at because I remembered. I was like, isn't there something I used to note last year about Indy? And last year, Indy, they got to a point in the second half of the season where if you started a wide receiver 1 against them, they would limit the fuck out of them. They would do it every time they played DeAndre Hopkins. They even did it in the playoff. They might let him get one big one off, and that would all you need in fantasy. But I'm just talking about in reality. So of course that translates, right? And so in this case, it's gonna be Julio, and like Ridley might have the game, but it's still Julio. I'm just saying he's still gonna pile up hell of receptions. I'm just talking about like they be limiting these motherfuckers. Everything's contested with their number ones. They play like a Tampa 2 style where they got two. You know what I mean? They always got 2 high safeties. One will drop in the box, the other one will go double Julio. It's just gonna be like that, and they're good. That's one thing I've always noticed. They've been steady with that. It's kind of dope.
Okay, fair enough. Now I think a serious question.
But you don't worry, you still roll out Julio hella confident. But still, I'm just saying. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he has like
Did you intentionally call Amari Cooper when you sent me your rankings Pooper?
Yeah, because I couldn't fit the Pooper Scooper. I wanted to just shorten it. That's been his handle. Even though now it's like you could use it like for you in your case because you're a Pooper Scooper truther. You could even use it like he's the shit. You know what I mean?
He is the shit, and I did tell
because
you that.
I nicknamed him that years ago because he had shitty hands and he was just shitty. He would cry, and him and Derek Carr were crying, and Derek Carr's mascara wouldn't even smear. Oh, never mind. That's his eyebrows like a bitch. His eyelashes like a bitch. He's gonna ball, bro. He's gonna ball. ECR has him 5th. You have him in 10th. I want to know why you're hating. Who? My bad. You said who do I have? I'm looking at right now. You said at where?
Amari Cooper. Cooper.
Oh, because I mean now with no Gallup, you really just got. You really can just even like it's gonna be Xavier Howard, bro. Xavier Howard.
You think Xavier Howard's just gonna like?
Fuck yeah! Yes, I do.
Yes,
I do.
Miami.
Yes,
Miami.
I do. He's the one shining. He's the one shining spot, bro.
You have T.Y. Hilton ranked 6th. ECR has him at 13th. First discrepancy I see. Could you explain that?
Well, first of all, Jamaican horns for T.Y. Hilton. This motherfucker, he averages 4 touchdowns a season in his career. He has 3 so far. There's something going on with him and the grilled beef brisket. The meat slab.
You like what you see. Sammy Watkins, you got 7. Let me see what else we got here. Thing that jumps off. Kenny Galladay. Put Kenny Galladay way the fuck up there.
Because Babytron is... Babytron...
Your theory because somebody's burning the other guy, right? The Flowers?
Yeah, bro. Hold on. The Lions... Hold on. Are we still on Galladay?
Oh, he's not playing Seattle. I'm tripping. Yeah. It is Galladay, though.
Yeah.
So, you say Philly, that's why Philly. Okay, you're following Philly.
Oh, rapage. Ravaging. It's gonna be a Galladay, a player's Galladay. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. That's That's okay. Fair enough.
Baby
I like
child,
that. AB, put AB right there at 11. Where does they have fair? Yeah. What else we got?
Baby
Frankenstein.
child. Hold on, Jamaican's baby child now.
I mean, you tell me what you talk to me about some receivers,
Okay.
man. Who was you going to talk about if I wasn't here?
There's some interesting guys. Like I just love all the KC guys for real. Like I love all of them. Like if they can get creative, and there's a vulnerable spot that you can fuck with Baltimore through the air, and that's through their slot. That's what's his name? What's old boy's name? Brandon Graham. He's like a 12, 13-year vet. What's that? That's this dude, right? Brandon Graham.
On what team? On Baltimore?
Baltimore. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm not.
He's an end. Is that what we're talking about? Like pass rusher?
Yeah, he's a nickel corner. No, there might be two different names. Oh, Brandon Carr. Is that his name?
I think it's Carr.
Yeah, I think it's Carr too. Can you fact check me on that? I just don't want, you know what I mean? I want the people to know that I know what I'm talking about.
You need me to look up Baltimore's nickel corner right now? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, or just look up if Brandon, just look up their DBs, because this is important, because you could even call the names out. You're gonna be calling the names of like Jimmy Smith and Humphreys and then Earl Thomas and then
Brandon Carr.
Brandon Carr.
Yeah,
there you go. So now even Brandon Carr, he's the wily vet. You know what I'm saying? I remember last week I was saying Fitz will get 100 on him. You know what I mean? Because this guy, you know, he used to be an outside corner in his hay. He plays the nickel now. You know what I mean? So in this case,
I mean, yeah, obviously we don't think anybody's gonna slow down.
yeah, but
right?
I think Sammy, though, they can move him in and out of the slot and do some fuck shit, and they're definitely already doing that with Mecole World Hardman. Ugh, I kind of like that. Mecole World Hardman. Is that too much? Fuck it. It's a work in progress.
Did you have another one? Is that because Keelan Cole World's out of the league? Is that
Yeah,
why?
that's the key. No, that's the other one. That's how I used to refer to Keelan Cole. Keelan Cole World.
I know. Is that why he's moving on to Mecole?
Yeah, Mecole. No, then you know what? We're gonna take that off him because that name might have
He
killed
needs
it.
something more original.
Yeah, exactly.
I just see right here you have Adam Thielen ranked 24. ECR's at 14th, bro.
Yeah.
Against Oakland, you have him ranked 24th. You just Kirk Cousins is gonna just.
I think it's okay. Here's my logic. It's the low volume of pass attempts that we've been seeing, the heavy run game, and the shellacking I'm expecting them to put on there. Because if you watch when they're running, Thielen is out there blocking downfield. Like he's out there getting his hands dirty still too. It's kind of dope. Like they're like changing their shit up to go around to mask maybe Kirk Cousins really is. Maybe I was kind of off on Kirk Cousins this year. Good thing I don't have him anywhere, but still I had a lot of hopes for him. But I did have a lot of hopes for that run game and that Kubiak system they're running, and that shit is fucking wild, bro. Cook's the leading rusher right now in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Trade.
Dalvin finally wants to show up. We didn't even talk about him. Yeah, he's like ranked number 2. It's crazy.
Yeah, but we didn't need to talk about him.
We'll move on. Let's see. What else do you like about receivers, bro? You moved your boy downtown into the into number 17.
Oh yeah, he's had at least 7 catches every game so far. You know what I'm saying? He be chilling all the way downtown. You know what I'm saying? Pause. You know what I mean? We ain't talking about that. What we talking about in the end zone, and he be taking them tugs, and he's regular tugger knot. I fuck with downtown John Brown. Pause.
I know you do. Tough. Juju. Should we be worried a little bit? I mean, I went out and made a pretty bold call about him in the year. I think I've been wrong about that, but
who do you think we're gonna delegate to him?
That situation.
Who do you think we're gonna delegate to him? Niner talk real quick.
Who's on the corners?
Yeah, you think it's gonna be Sherm? You think it's gonna be what is it called, Witherspoon, and then he gets some help?
I don't know, man. Does Sherm follow people, or is he still, or is he just stay on one side?
They usually play him. They play him predominantly at left. I remember last year.
Right.
He was trying to pull some veteran shit like, yo, he would move Witherspoon, go on the other side, or Ward, and be like, go on the other side, and then Devontae Adams burned him on the Monday night. Remember that?
I was like, he tried. I mean, we can see. I don't know. I think Schuster's gonna. He's still gonna get a ton of targets, but it's just not gonna be as explosive of a passing game.
I just think the
didn't look that great
smothering.
before, but I didn't. Big Ben was hurt going in. Then basically, is what right?
Yeah, I mean that's what they're saying, and I mean you're gonna pep. Here's the thing: is we're gonna see how safe he's gonna play it, Rudolph, because a natural thing to do is check down, look for the check down, live in the safe zone, like, and that's where, or the hot read, and that's gonna be Vance the Rapper, MC Donald himself, or it's gonna be Connor. Maybe even Samuels, depending on, if Connor all of a sudden is not a go. You know what I'm saying? They're all pass catchers, short. But I'm wondering if when he looks bomb, because he's gonna have single covered James Washington a lot. You would assume, right? You're gonna see a lot of single covered James Washington, and he's gonna, that they like to call the big one. You know what I mean? And they're gonna try to see if they can uncork it. I think if they can uncork the big one, like how Big Ben used to, they'll be like, "Peace out, Ben, rapist." Burger.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time too to get back.
Yeah, I know.
Don't get enough sample size.
I'm just saying I'm not being too bullish on it. Same way I mean, maybe is that do you think that's? I guess this is why we have these conversations. Where would you move Juju up on my rank? Where would you have him?
You have him at ace. I'm somewhere in that range. That's not a big.
I still had him above.
I'm just a big Juju guy, and I'm concerned. So I was just more so asking for a friend.
Well, I had him over. I still had him over Michael Thomas, who I'm concerned with. Can you just imagine if you got me to take Adams and you ended up with the Juju and Thomas thing right now in the GKL?
I would be, yeah. The GKL, I feel the guys don't want to say it on the air.
No, I'm saying if I ended up getting, say I got Adams and you. Say I had Adams and you had those two, though. I'm just saying, like that. You would have to deal with both of them in one, like, because I'm dealing with it too.
I feel humbly moral this year.
Yeah, that's real though. I have a feeling like this is just the beginning of what anything can happen, and like we might see some shit this whole season. This could be a precursor. You know what I mean?
I see some shit right now. I see you put Tyrell Williams, the Gazelle, at 16th, and like the other ranking, the ECR has him at 35. You're doubling down.
I'm saying, I mean, okay, well, my call looked right that first quarter, didn't it? My call last week. You know what? You're going to start to see the love I have for some of these players like the Gazelle. Hit the weed.
He's playing Minnesota, man. It's not a very great matchup, I think.
Size-wise.
Passing game.
You know what Rhodes does well? He smothers these big guys. You know what he does? What he doesn't do well is cover these twitchy guys or these faster guys. Tyrell Williams is a big guy that's like twitchy, and you know what I mean. And I call him the Gazelle because he can get loose. He's fast. He has long speed, and he has that quick burst to get to the long speed. So he might pop one. Derek Carr, they're desperate too. He's the one, and I know when they get in desperation, they pepper guys. So, you're a Waller owner. I mean, it's what's his name? Barr. They got some good.
Barr.
Anthony Barr. He's a linebacker, right? Then they got what other safeties? They got that Uso sounding guy. He's an Uso name. Forget his name. You don't have to pull that up. But yeah, they got some guys that's gonna be on Waller, but still, like these is a concentration of targets. It's just the two of them. Maybe Rocket Richard, we see a lot of him because you know what I'm saying. So, but I'm telling you, like there's going to be some pass attempts made. They're going to be playing from behind, and I think they're going to be losing the battle of possession like drastically. So it's just going to be all throwing it. Tyrell Williams, number 16. I think it's being too generous.
Why is Tyler Boyd ranked like 26?
Easy.
And you have 30th.
Because here's the thing is, their fastest corner. I forget his name, but he's the guy him and like, what's that safety's name? Is it still Burnett over there? No, Burnett's with the Steelers. I forget. No.
Are you thinking about Tre'Davious?
No, Tre'Davious White is gonna be on. It's gonna be on Boyd though. I was doing all that to tell you that it's gonna be Tre'Davious on Boyd, because Tre'Davious always goes on the best he's gonna go on the X or the possession guy. And
he follows the X, is what you're telling me.
exactly, and that's how they've been using Boyd. Maybe Boyd might be not getting the targets, but he's the receptions that you want if you're a Boyd owner. But like he's getting those important targets, the third down looks. You know what I mean? They're looking at him, especially with Joe Mixon being hurt. So it's gonna be White on that motherfucker, like Rice, like White on Rice. God damn it! See, that's where we hit the crickets.
Can you basically bank on just Larry Fitzgerald being a wide receiver 2 all year?
Yeah, and I think Kirk too. That volume has been 2 games so far. We're gonna see, but see, I think we might see a drop on it this week because Panthers they're like a slow pace of offense in general. So you know what I mean? Like I'm maybe the pass attempts go down to 35, maybe 38, maybe 40. Because he's been steady, averaging like 45. Because week 1 he had like 50, right? And I think week 2, I mean that.
Andy Dalton?
No, I'm talking about Kyler Murray.
Oh, Kyler.
Yeah, because you're talking about Fitzgerald now.
I hit the bomb.
It's all good. Yep, hit the weed.
Go down. We digress.
Yep, and then then there's the haymaker guys, man. Like it's really all the Chief guys. I love your John Ross, man. Maybe John Ross continues. Hollywood too. Maybe he continues again. Like these.
I think Hollywood gets one this week again too. I've seen.
I know. I'm saying like, why stop now? I mean, it hit for 2 weeks. It's the matchup that he could be had again. You know what I mean? This matchup could be had. The secondary. So Hollywood could do it. Hollywood swinging.
I think Hollywood Brown is for real. I think that Kansas City won't know what to do with Lamar Jackson, so Marquise Brown might run for a couple of them this week. So I do like that call. You have him up there. Mike Williams, man, I'm disappointed, bro. He was supposed to. This was supposed to be his time. Melvin Gordon's gone. Like Hunter Henry's gone. Like Mike Williams, bro. I mean, what did you do? Like 3 for 80 last week. Like you caught your bomb. But like. Fuck Mike Williams.
Man, I mean, I think with Mike Williams, it was the slay. He just got slayed, and I think what he did put up is what? What did he put up? I forget exactly.
I think it was like 3 for 80.
3 for 80. See, because those 3 catches were hard to get with Slay on you and having this banged up knee. So even just getting that was phenomenal. Plus, I remember we had this conversation before. The season started, where I was talking about the line, and maybe they're not going to be allowing to give Rivers enough time to get Mike Williams down, the sideline or on a big one. You know what I mean? So it's kind of been like, we've seen when there was no Hunter Henry last season and no Melvin Gordon, they started getting more creative with Mike Williams because it was like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Austin Eckler's he's boss over there, and then Keenan Allen.
I like that. I tripped out today when I saw that Emmanuel Sanders had 13 targets for
not me. Because when you look at the ADOTs, all short ones, and every so often, there was like a 7-8 yard pass. You know what I mean? And he just made the most of it. He's Emmanuel Sanders, fucking amazing. I have a theory he's a clone, or he's on some kind of HGH that they haven't detected because 8 months removed from a fucking Jamaican horn. 8 months removed from a goddamn Achilles.
I'm looking at the rank.
The Achilles.
Like 30 to,
oh shit.
30 to 40.
They didn't like that. I don't know why they booed that. Go ahead.
There's some value down here, bro. You can get away with some guys.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf, I think, is real. Sanders, they have ranked down here. John Ross might get loose. Hartman. Even Landry against the Rams. I mean, he's going to be passing. DeMarcus Robinson. Terry McLaurin, man, he's for real. I'm buying in. I'm investing if I can get him cheap enough. That's for real. I might even pay a little bit more now to get him if you're desperate for an affordable
Terry McLaurin,
receiver.
man, he's one of those guys. What's McLaurin? Scottish, right? We're gonna call him the Scottish lad. It's Terry McLaurin, the Scottish lad, right? Well, Terry McLaurin, man, he's one of those guys. In all my leagues where I had drafted like 2 weeks earlier, I must have picked up and dropped the combination of John Brown and Terry McLaurin like several times. You've seen me do it too. and all the leagues that were in. I didn't
There's
pick him.
documentation.
Yeah, just pick him up. I have to drop him, and you know what? Let's go get him back when he clears, because no one will get him. And I get him, and then by week 1 I don't even have him, and then they go off, and I'm like trying to get waivers, all these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? It's just funny because he's one of those guys, dog, man. Like we had highlighted him this week. We were talking about how he's averaging actually 90% of the offense snaps, and that's number 1 status, and he's being used like the number 1 X. And he's a speed demon, bro. Like, he runs 4.3. I didn't know that. And I was like, wow. And Keenum's, like, just fucking with him only. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Plus,
that matchup, the Bears, there's a
you know what? He's going to...
There's a weather bubble, so there might be some bad weather. But, I mean, Emmanuel Sanders just torched these guys for an amazing stat line. And so, I wouldn't be scared of the Bears if you're a Terry McLaurin owner. You need like a wide receiver 3 flex
you know
spot
what,
or
though?
something like that. Try him out.
I'll tell you this much. They play a lot of soft zone. He'll eat that soft zone up, bro. But I don't know.
Oh, yeah. There's just going to be too much volume.
Keenum's played against this defense.
Pretty much.
He's played against this defense a number of times.
The Bears?
Yeah. He was with the Vikings, remember?
Was he? Isn't he rookie?
Case Keenum.
Oh, Case Keenum. I thought we were talking about Terry McLaurin, so sorry.
Oh, you
you
thought we were talking about the Scottish lad, Terry McLaurin.
Scottish lad.
He's wearing. It's not a skirt.
Stamp that name.
It's not a skirt. It's a kilt. Do they wear kilts? McLaurin.
He killed it last week, so. He killed it last week. That's all I know.
The Scottish
Let
lad.
me see if we get back to my rankings over here. Anything else outside here? Let's see. Nelson Aguilar. Is he going to get that crazy amount of targets
It's a volume thing, yeah. And it goes down to
even though there's no chance he gets slayed?
I got a sneaky one, and I'm crazy. You see him; he's in some of my lineups. Mac Hollins, he's a sneaky one. If you guys are looking for like a daily play, or even like you're in a deeper league and you need a receiver, Mac Hollins, because remember when D Rob went off, it was kind of like, okay, we're missing Tyreek Hill this week, and quarterbacks are there. It could be sometimes as simple as, who do I even know the most? You know what I mean? Oh, I've been fucking with D-Rob from the gate. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I heard Patrick Mahomes in a post game, he referred to him as D-Rob. I was like, hell yeah. We're on the fucking same wavelength. You know what I mean? Anyways, right? It's in this case too.
All played a total of 82 snaps last week, bro.
See, and look at all the Eagles guys are dead. All the Eagles guys are dead. So it's like, and they will push. They'll have Nelson Aguilar on one side, and on the other side they'll have the rookie Arcega Whiteside. Am I saying that right?
Arcega Whiteside. You need to come up with a name for him at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't know anything about it. He got to earn it, I guess. I don't know.
Arcega Dreamcast.
But yeah, those guys played. All three of those receivers played 78 snaps in the game last week, which is kind of crazy.
And I think we're gonna see that again, bro, because they already said that Deshaun. I mean, they said that Alshon's gonna be out like 1 to 2, right? And like, man.
Yeah, they were definitely, I don't think, gonna play this week.
Yeah, so those are some guys you can spot start. I mean, join me in the crazy world. You know what I mean? Like,
I like a couple guys I like down here that spot start on the cheaper end. DJ Shark, I'm a believer.
Mm-hmm.
Debo, I think Debo's role is just going to keep growing and growing.
Yeah.
And even Marquise Goodwin, I like him in this matchup. They're going to be able to throw it a little bit. I don't think it'll be
they're going to eat these corners up, dog. We're going to eat these corners up.
I'm off James Washington, man. I've dropped cutting ties.
I actually claimed him, and I'm probably going to end up with him. And I'm mad because I think now Arcega Whiteside is going to be cut. Anyways, I digress.
Oh, okay.
I like James Washington.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
Okay, I like James Washington. He was actually going to be one of the guys I bring up because it's the same thing. Like, remember I was talking about Mac Hollins. So all the guys die around you, and then who's the guy he's the most friendly to after? The guy he knows the most on the field, Nelson Aguilar and Mac Hollins. So now in this case, it's Kyle. What's his name? Kyle Rudolph. Mason Rudolph. You know what I'm saying? He's coming through, and it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a lot of him staying away from double coverage and not forcing shit to Juju, and then it's gonna be a lot of safe to Vance the Rapper, and then a lot of safe throws to him, and then a lot of fucking emphasis on the run, and it's gonna be the big shots are gonna go to James Washington. I think he could pop one. I mean, whoever I know this guy's not fast like John Ross, but you know someone can get burned back there, and you know James Washington is pretty fast, and he's a bigger dude. Like he'll be able to throw a 50-50.
Yeah, 3 targets in the game. I'm out.
I know, but here's the thing. This is also where my logic is. When he came in the game, Moncrief was pretty much benched and he played the rest of the game. Washington, the snap count or the snap share. God fucking damn it. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much it then, huh? With the receivers, is there anyone else? I mean, like, I really just want to talk about the Chiefs guys all the time just because I'm like, dang, dude. I think I have a theory.
That's money in the bank. That's money in the bank, bro.
Each one of those guys could pop a big one this week. It's crazy.
For sure, bro.
All right, well, before we close this up, we're Thursday night's game.
The Jamaicans was quiet tonight, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I gave him some real strong weed. Not even that ganja. I gave him that weed. You know what I'm saying? Like that real. You know what I mean? Oh, there they are. They waking up now. You know what I'm saying?
Getting murdered on the spread pick, so but we will get this one in. Jacksonville plus 2.5 versus Tennessee.
I am beating you though.
Yes, it's early in the year. I will prevail, but
I'm not taking no victory laps.
We're off to a rough start this year, so we got to wake up. We're gonna roll with Tennessee minus 2.5. My pick. Yeah, what you got?
This isn't in Tennessee, right?
It's in Jacksonville.
Oh, it's in Jacksonville. Oh, that's right.
Are you
funny? No. I have Tennessee. No. I have Tennessee on this. This one was easy to me. I have Tennessee and to cover.
Okay.
But you know what though? I would love to, because I'm glad it's a short week, because I love more Minsu the Ginsu. This guy has razor sharp swag. He won't even button his shirt up.
They fucked up the schedule this week.
Yes, but we get more Ginsu. It's like, yes. I just want to see the after interview, whether they won or not, because this fool's going to come out like, he's going to come out in like an all leather like poncho this time. This guy's swag is incredible. He can pull anything off.
Did he do something last game that I missed?
Just look up, he wore like I don't know if it was, someone sent me a meme, but it was like him in the post game, and like he had like the shirt all the way down buttoned, like it was just the bottom was buttoned. Like I was like, this nigga swag is to the max.
Oh, he's got the stash. Oh, I see it. Yep, I see him.
Right?
He's got some Fitzmagic.
Right?
Huh?
No, but it's the Ginsu. So that's real. It wasn't just a meme. Yes, Minsu the Ginsu with the razor sharp swag. Yes.
I love it.
Okay, yeah, so I got Tennessee, and that's about it. Follow us at the GMM Network on Instagram. Once again, all the rankings and that shit that we're discussing tonight's gonna be all up on the gram, baby. Steamboat, man, what's your Instagram?
Oh yeah, I think it's the Guru 408. You know what I'm saying? We got some. We're under construction right now currently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Follow him.
We getting rolling.
Follow him at the Guru 408. Follow me at Bogart Scott Free World. And follow us at the GMM Network right here on the goddamn GMM Network. It's the Real Fantasy Playmakers. Oh, Guru.
Wake the Jamaicans up. Wake the Jamaicans up.
Jamaicans. Yeah.